Hey everybody, Kyle here with Spicer Designs. Yep, time for my lunch break. Getting anything out there? Oh. Damn it! What the hell's all this XTool S1. Damn it, UPS. Let's get this stuff on the bench and check it out. Welcome back to the channel. I know that's stupid. No one thinks I'm funny. Handful of you have let me know in the comments, I'm not funny, it's stupid, I'm immature. Well, guess what? Kiss my... All right, today's video, I got some new stuff here. I got a XTool laser engraver along with a whole bunch of other things. We're gonna open this up here in a second. Well, I can't fit all this on the table at once, so let's start with the big boy first. Or big girl, that's okay. All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to put this one on the floor because I don't have a camera tall enough. Ooh, it's got some weight to it. Oh. Oh! I didn't break anything. Yeah. We'll see how well it's packaged. I think I bruised a nipple. All right, let's get this thing yanked out of here so we can check out the meat and potatoes. You know what I mean? That actually sounds pretty good. We'll have to see what the Keystone Girl's making for dinner. All right, this is nice. I could use this for something in the future. Nice foam too. I could also use that for something in the future. Might be the beginning stages of hoarding, I don't know. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Try to do this without falling again. Yeah. All right. It's got some weight to it. All right, let's open this thing up. Nice acrylic lens here. I believe that these are rated where you don't actually have to have the goggles on because this is basically a big tinted goggle. So when you take them off.
Where are you?
All right, this thing is very nicely packaged, I gotta say. I don't know what the hell's in there. We'll figure that out in a minute. Same with that one. Same with that one. Looks like we've got a vent tube for the fume extraction and another box of something in here. It's not fragile. All right, that's that. Oh. Power supply. Make sure you check every nook and cranny of the foam because there's always something stuffed in there that you might miss. Oh, the heart of the operation right here, the 20-watt diode laser. More cords. That looks like that is it. Now keep in mind, this is kind of an introduction of this XTool S1 laser to the channel. So we're gonna go over all the specifics in this video. We're gonna do some test runs on it. But there are gonna be future videos where we're gonna be talking less about the machine and the specifics and more about the actual project that we'll be working on. But first, let's open all this shit up so we know what the hell we got here. Looks like we have a nice little XTool parts kit. Got some tools in there and all kinds of other parts. Here we've got some small little like aluminum rails. I'm guessing that these are something for the bed to lay your projects on, but we have something else for that we need to open. Here we've got the manual and it looks like, I don't even know what the hell this is. Looks like a project guide where it gives different project ideas and material and all that stuff. This is actually pretty nice to have because when you get into laser engraving, it's kind of overwhelming with all the different projects that you can do. So something like this can definitely get the juices flowing. Well, I'll be damned. And they give you a package, a little starter kit of all kinds of different materials. This is very nice to have. I like it. Oh, what is this, lube? Pengsheng. Pengsheng. I'm guessing this is lubricant. This was supposed to come in a separate box. Okay, this is an easy one. This is the air assist. Pretty self-explanatory, but it is an external unit from the enclosure. But again, this is packaged very nice. I don't know what the f these are. Filters? Air filters, maybe? This is pretty high-tech stuff here. All right, so we've got our manual, our air hose, our power supply cord. I think these are air filters. And then you have your XTool air assist little mini compressor. Next item here is the XTool honeycomb cutting platform. These I highly recommend for any laser engraver They are very, very handy to have, and it makes your cuts a whole lot cleaner. It just cuts way more efficient, in my opinion. And I am not an expert. Damn it, with the tape. We've got our manual and a bunch of little, oh, okay. Comes with some of those magnetic clips so that you can secure your project in place so it doesn't move around on you. Sometimes with the air assist, when it's blowing on there, if you have a light material, it'll blow it around. I don't have any of these, so this is gonna be really nice to have. Get a nice little, ooh, they're strong magnets too, damn. All right, let's see what we got here. Very nice. All right, here is the XTool honeycomb cutting platform. Looks like really nice quality. And right here on the Y and X axis, we have our measurement increments, both in inches and in millimeters. And then of course we have our magnets that are going to basically fit into the honeycombs and lay over your material, and they're magnetized, and then they got a little clip on them where you can grab them and pull them off when you need to. These are gonna be really handy to have. I'm just gonna leave them in here for now so I don't lose them. And on the back side, it's got a little rubber pad on each corner. Next up, the XTool S1 riser base supporting conveyor feeder. I'm not super familiar with these laser engravers that have the built-in enclosure, so all this is new to me, but let's check it out, see what we got. Again, very nice packaging, very nice manual. All right, we've got the right side, left side, clearly marked. What that is. Pair of safety glasses, nice shade of yellow. Probably become my new driving glasses. And then we've got the back here, and you can see there's a little hinged piece right here. We'll see what that's all about here when we put it together. And the front piece, again, with another hinged cover on it. Okay, the last box we have here is the XTool RA2 Rotary Attachment 2 Pro. We're probably not gonna use this today, but we'll definitely be using it on a future video. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put all of this together and get it all ready to get hooked up to the laptop. I'm not gonna bore you with all the assembly. We'll look at it once it's together, which will be in literally 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, now. All right, I have everything put together on the S1. I've got it all hooked up, and we were very close to start testing this thing out. Now, one nice thing that XTool does is they actually create different bundles that you can get with this S1 laser. I believe they do that with their other lasers as well. The bundle that they sent me was the S1 laser, 20 watt with the rotary kit. So what I got in that was, of course, the S1 laser. You get the conveyor base, the honeycomb cutting platform, you get the air assist, and of course, the rotary tool. And they offer a flame detection system or a flame safety kit or a fire safety kit, something like that. So now that we know everything that comes with this, let's do a quick walk around. I'll show you how everything's hooked up and some of the cool features that this thing has before we start engraving. So let's talk about the external features first before we crack this baby open and take a look at the inside. So external features, obviously this is a very nice looking unit. Pretty impressed. It has this green shaded door on it right here, which is a really nice feature. It basically substitutes you having to wear the goggles, which they do send you. It's always recommended to wear the goggles even though you still have the protective lens on here. But this is a nice feature in case you didn't want to wear them or you weren't, whatever. I think you get the point. The next thing would be the conveyor option. So with this riser base, it allows you to use the conveyor option that they also sell. So that conveyor motor hooks up somewhere on the front here, and it basically takes place of the Y-axis. So instead of being able to engrave just something on 19.5 by 12.5 inches, you can now engrave something I think up to like 10 feet long, and it will just continuously run it through as it moves down that Y-axis. Now on the side of the unit, of course, it's got an emergency e-stop. That's pretty standard on most of these machines, and I will tell you what that button does here in a little bit when we get into the software. Moving around to the back side, you've got all your plugs and ports for everything. You've got your on-off switch, you've got your power supply, you've got your USB connection to your laptop or computer, and this unit will also work off of Wi-Fi, so you would not have to have this cord. And then you have your XTool key. This is basically really similar to the key to your vehicle. If you don't have it, it won't work. which I guess allows people to not use your machine if you don't want them to. Then over here, we've got our Air Assist setup. So this is the XTool Air Assist, and you'll see that there is an auto option on this. And with the auto option, you have a mini USB cable that basically plugs this thing in, and there is no power supply needed. It runs off the power from the S1. And the cool thing is when you're in auto on the XTool Air Assist, all of the Air Assist commands come right from the laptop or the software to the Air Assist, so you don't have to set them manually, of course. Pretty nice. Obviously, XTool gives you this section of hose right here, and then I just have it temped into my temporary exhaust system, which is just some 6-inch duct over to an inline duct fan, and then I'll crack that door and stick it outside. But eventually, I'll be putting some ductwork all across the ceiling for this. Probably making you sick from all the camera work here. All right, so that's pretty much it for all the external features. Let's crack this baby open, see what's inside. Oh my God, it's beautiful. All right, when we open it up, you see everything is very nice and clean, very well built. It's got a nice drag chain setup, which is very nice for cord management. The laser head is interchangeable. They actually offer a 40-watt laser head and a 2-watt infrared laser head, and they gave me the 20-watt, which from what I was understanding, the 20 watts actually kind of a nice one to have because that laser beam, the kerf width on it is a little bit tighter, and you can actually cut more precise with the 20 versus the 40. Don't quote me on that, that's just kind of what I read in some of my research. And this thing is very easy to mount. It just has 2 screws on top. You just take that laser head and you clip it in there, and then you just have 2 plugs on the side. One of them is the Air Assist tube, and the other one is just the cord that plugs into it. So very easy to mount, very easy to interchange. The other cool thing they have is it's actually magnetic. This is the auto focusing device right here. It basically moves down on the Z-axis, which is cool because this actually has a Z-axis motor, so it can travel on that Z-axis. I know I just said Z-axis like 10 times. I like to do that. And this is just magnetic. It just mounts on the side there, and you would leave that on there. But it will autofocus for you on the material, which is a really cool feature. Now the actual bed in this thing, the section that pulls out here, that bed is about 24 inches wide and about 15.16 inches deep or tall, however you want to look at it. But the actual working area of the laser is 19.6 inches wide by 12.5 inches tall or deep. And this honeycomb platform reflects that working area pretty damn close. It's about 20.5 inches wide by 13 inches tall. And the nice thing is, depending on what height of material you have, you can actually pull this tray out and put it on different levels, kind of like your oven, and get it a little bit closer to the laser head. That way that laser head doesn't have to move down so far. So overall, pretty nice setup as far as the cutting platform, laser head, Z-axis, autofocus, all that stuff. And one last other cool feature that they have, which I don't have the equipment for it, it's called the safety kit, and it's kind of like a fire detection system, but I'm not sure exactly what the safety kit does. I'm guessing it could possibly extinguish a fire or something if it needed to. I'll have to do some research on that, but they have 4 sensors, 2 in the front corner here, and then 2 in the back corner. And those are little fire detection sensors. So if it does detect a fire, it will shut the project down. It'll alert you. It'll have an audible. So that's very nice because in all reality, these lasers can be kind of dangerous as far as fires go. So they've kind of got everything covered on that, and you could set the sensitivity on those fire detection sensors inside the programming. Okay. I know this video might be a little bit boring, but like I said, this is an intro for this machine to the channel, so I want to make sure I cover all the specs and features so you know exactly what this thing can do. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the software, which honestly is probably one of the coolest parts of the whole XTool system. I wasn't even aware that they had their own software, but now that I've downloaded it and tried it out, it's really user-friendly. So if laser engravers are a little bit intimidating to you, mostly because of the software, fear no more. This software that XTool offers, called XTool Creative Space, is very user-friendly, and it's literally designed specifically around all of the XTool products, which is ideal. Now you still can use light burn with the XTool lasers, but the good thing about XTool Creative Space is that it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Lightburn, you do have to pay for a license, which I do. I have to pay for a license for my CO2 laser. It's like 125 bucks a year, so huge advantage using the XTool software. It is free. I don't know about you, but I like free. Free's good. Anyways, I'm not gonna give you a tutorial on the software. We're just gonna go through some brief settings so that we could do some test cuts. But I found a video, it's like an hour and 26 minutes long. It is a full-on tutorial on how to use every single feature in this Creative Space software. It was very well done, very easy to follow along, and I watched the whole thing because I've never used this before. I will leave a link for that video and that channel down in the description. Huge thanks to, I think it was something Beagle, the Beagle guy or something, I don't freaking know. Now I feel bad. Where's the Beagle guy? Beagle. Buster Beagle 3D. Huge thanks to Buster Beagle 3D. That is the name of the YouTube channel where he had created this tutorial, so thank you. Anyways, let's dig into this so we can start cutting finally, and then I could show you a couple other really cool features that are more software related to the machine. So let's go ahead and dig in. All right, first things first, we have the USB cable hooked up to my MacBook Air. You don't have to use a MacBook Air, you can use a Windows or whatever. They have all the different downloading options. And then we're going to turn the unit on. Power button is right in this back left corner here. All right, so here is XTool Creative Space. Pretty easy platform here to work off of. It's honestly very similar to a lot of other CAD style software. Right up here you can see I'm already connected to my S1. And as far as connecting to your laser engraver with this software, it is like ridiculously easy. You just recognizes it and you click on it and that's it. It's very, very easy. And the cool thing about this XTool Creative Space software while using your XTool laser engraver is it is specifically designed around your exact model. It knows everything about your model laser, all of the features, all of the parameters. So when you use Lightburn's a little bit more universal for all lasers. So there's a lot more settings and a lot more things that you have to kind of know through experience or just research on how to manipulate all those settings, where XTool's Creative Space kind of does it for you. They've already done all that. Moving on. Okay, so we're not gonna go over all of this stuff. Like I said, if you want that information, check out that video. It will literally tell you everything. So what we're gonna work on today is I'm gonna do a couple of test engravings in this piece of, I'm guessing it's like a balsa wood that they actually send in the material kit. And then I have a little piece of extra leather that I like to engrave on with other projects. I just did a keychain project on it. And this is just about 1/8 of an inch thick. So this is kind of my go-to for leather and that thickness. Now here we're on our platform right here. The platform is specifically sized based off of the S1, which is really nice. And what we're gonna do is I'm going to insert just a small little rectangle. We want to do like a test engraving basically on this rectangle. So we're gonna go to Array and hit Material Test. And right here you see it gives you all kinds of max settings for your power percentage and your millimeters per second and a minimum and the columns, all that good stuff. So you kind of get the idea there. So basically what we have here is a small little test pattern that's going to output different powers and different speeds. I'm going to engrave it on this piece of leather, and then I'll be able to save that piece and look at it later and know exactly what power and speed setting I want to use if I'm doing some kind of an engraving, which is going to be really nice to have. Kind of goes along with using a notebook to document all your settings. It's kind of an easy way to do it. Yeah! XTool. So right here we are going to engrave this, and I also want to insert another rectangle, and I want to go around this thing so it actually will cut it out so I can save it. So as far as that one goes, we're going to exit out. We're going to click on that, move to the red layer. Okay. So we just made that a second layer, and we want that red layer to be second. Now, this program, if you have it set to auto planning, it'll do all the engraving first, and then it will cut last, which is what you want to happen. And if we put it into by layer, it'll cut in order of layers that you have. So it would cut layer 1 first, and then it would cut layer 2 second, or engrave. So that's basically it. That's what we want to engrave right now and cut. So let's get the material set up, and then I'll show you one other cool feature that this thing has before we actually engrave it. All right, so we're gonna set our material in here. We could just move the laser around manually. I always like to square it up by using the X gantry rail. It's not perfect, but it gets you pretty damn close. And then you should be able to see there is a really nice X right here. Shows you exactly where that laser is going to be. So you know right where to position this thing. That's a very nice feature. So what we're going to do with this X is we're going to move it up to the top left corner. And what's really cool is you can see as I'm moving this, you can see that little X moving on the software. So you know exactly where it's at on the software as well. And whenever you're moving this thing, do it in slow movements. It's not really made to be pushed real quick manually like this. But before we start marking, they want us to find the distance on the height for the laser head. So we're just going to move it over the material, and then you'll see it's going to move the Z-axis down until this probe touches, and then it's going to go back to the back right corner. It's going to reset that probe, and then it'll come back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to this little crosshair in the distance section, and we're going to hit that button. You can see it shot that probe down, picked up a measurement, and now it's going to go in this back corner and reset that probe. It's pretty cool. Way smarter than I am, that's for sure. Now that we have our distance, we can go ahead and start marking. And we're going to be doing a rectangle and start marking. So the first thing we're going to do is move it into this top left corner here. We're going to hit this button now, and that's going to mark that point. You'll hear it beep, and then over there on the screen, it says end marking, but we want to create another point. And what we're gonna do is move it to the bottom right corner of the material, and we're gonna hit this button again. So now when you look at the screen, we have 2 points here. It shows our rectangle, and that is exactly where that material is placed on our cutting platform. And we can hit end marking, and done. And then now when you look at our screen here on the XTool Creative Space, you can see right where that piece of leather is, and now I can position this test grid right where I want it on that material. So I'm just going to select all of this and move it down, and I'm going to shrink that a little bit too. Shrink it more. I don't need it to be that big. So right there is where we're going to want it, and basically I think we're ready to start engraving. Now as far as the material goes, XTool has also done us a favor here. They have a section right here, material. You can click on that, and it gives you pretty much all the stuff that was in their material kit that they sent with the machine. Then you can click more, and they have a whole other library of stuff that you can search for here. The S1 is still fairly new, so they're still updating and upgrading those libraries as we speak. Hopefully when you watch this video, there will be even more updates. Now, if you can't find your material in the XTool software, you can just go to XTool's website. If you go to XTool's website under support and material settings, you'll find right here, they have different machines up top. We click the S1. We're gonna be using, leather and wood, and right here, it gives you all kinds of settings for whatever it is that you wanna do. So again, very user-friendly. All right, I'm gonna get the exhaust system turned on, and then, oh, damn it! Gotta remove that freaking mid-rail. All right, the exhaust is on. We're gonna come down here and hit framing. And the cool thing is that you don't have to be by your laptop when you're doing it. You could hit framing, and then what they want you to do is come over, hit this button, and it'll frame it. So smooth. Now we can hit framing complete, and now we can go into process. All right, now we are going to close the lid. All we have to do is hit our button and it'll go. Wow, that pretty interesting little power and speed test there. I think this is gonna be pretty handy to have for using the leather material. It definitely gives you an idea of the power and speed settings, that's for sure. I actually had to stop the engraving so I can go back and ignore a couple of those squares where the percentage of power got really high and the speed went down really slow, because you could see on this one, it actually completely burnt through. And it had 3 more boxes that were even more powerful than that with a slower speed. I just went ahead, obviously I don't want to engrave anything at that level, so I just shut them down. But I will say the lettering on this is super crisp. This XTool is pretty damn impressive. I gotta say that it's clean, really clean. And it's powerful too. Just the 20 watt, I couldn't even imagine the 40 watt laser. But I think, now that I know, I think that 20 watt is perfect, because you get a tighter kerf width on that laser beam and it's still got plenty of power. So just my opinion. All right, now we're gonna try the wood. I'm not gonna go through the software this time. We're just gonna start engraving and we'll see what that test looks like. And you can even drink Keystone or your beer of choice while engraving. I mean, that was way warmer than I thought it was. That's disgusting. We are using the iPhone 14 on time lapse. I'll tell you what, it's looking pretty damn good on the wood. All right, here are our test plates. Damn it. Here are the 2 test plates we cut, the balsa wood and the leather. And I am pretty impressed. For one, this is gonna be really handy to have. Every time I cut a piece of new material or engrave on it, I can do a test piece like this and just kind of save them. To me, better than jotting down notes in a notebook. I mean, you could physically see exactly what you're gonna get. So I like this. Now, my final thoughts on the XTool S1. I freaking love it. Now, just to be clear, I am not an expert with laser engraving. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I've got to try out a couple of different lasers and different style lasers. And I will say, with very little use on this XTool so far, and I'm not trying to promote XTool or beat their drum, I really think that this thing is awesome. And this is a really great option. If you're gonna spend the money and get yourself a good laser, this is an amazing option. It's kind of a hybrid between a CO2 machine and just your regular desktop laser engraver. And it's really the perfect fit for a lot of people. Not to mention, the XTool Creative Space software is super user friendly. I am very impressed with their software. I obviously have a lot to learn on it still, but like I said, check out that video, the tutorial. It's about 1 hour and 26 minutes long. I would even suggest watching that if you're even entertaining getting one of these XTool laser engravers, because it'll at least give you the idea if you think that you can navigate through that software pretty easy, because that's a big hang up for a lot of people. Now, these aren't cheap lasers, but they're definitely worth the money. Being able to have the conveyor system, the safety fire system on it, the rotary tool, which we'll be exploring that in another video. It's kind of the one-stop shop. So if you're gonna spend the money, it's a good option. Let's keep a cover on this thing. They should offer a cover to put over the cover to keep the dust off it. So again, we will be doing some more videos and some actual projects with the XTool S1. I want to give a huge thanks to XTool for sending this thing out. This is definitely going to be a key part of my operation from this point on. And of course, I will leave links down in the description. I'll also pin one there in the comments. And I haven't got a final answer back from XTool yet, but if they are going to give me a discount code that I could offer you to save some money, I will have that information in the description as well. So please, if you found this video helpful and you got the information that you were looking for, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I mean, you just hit start, and you can go do whatever the f you want. And we're gonna... God damn it! God, I hate f***ing talking points.